Howdy, howdy, and welcome to My Bloody Judy with your final forgets, myself, Zachary Patton Garcia.
And Ian Carlos Crawford. And joining us today as our opening kills, we have Adam Strawn.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, and Ashley Hullett.
Hello.
More like our
Hi.
opening meals.
Yeah.
Who we're gonna eat
That's-
first. We are here to talk the Yellowjackets season 3 finale. This is episode 10, right? There was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do
Do
we?
we not know if is it not officially coming back yet? Like officially?
It's got to be coming back, but they
The
haven't
way it
announced
ended.
yet. Yeah, they haven't announced it yet. It was fucking weird ending it, wasn't it? Yeah. So the way they ended it, like obviously they have to come back with something. It's one of their highest shows, also.
Does it do
highest
well?
rated
Okay,
show.
good.
Yeah, it does like really well, and especially with all. I feel like it's gotten more chatter this year than it ever has. Like the fandom is just blown up with this one. There's theory videos every single time I open my TikTok, and so it's got to come back. It's just I wonder. I don't know. It seems like there's a little bit of a shakeup internally going on with it, with the cast members and all of that. But Hillary Swank just disappeared.
Right.
Like, it's just
And I
gone.
loved her.
And I'm like, does she not even want to come back? Are they trying to scramble and figure out if they're going to be able to get Hillary Swank back? Are they going to? I mean, they've been.
We
killing off
waited
these-
all season for Hillary Swank, and then she's in one of the
She
half
just
episodes.
ran out of the house and never
Yeah.
left back. That's it.
What did we think of this finale? Adam, what'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It's kind of like it paid off a lot of things I was waiting for, so I was pleased about that. It's just I do worry a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because like season 2 took like a bit of a nosedive for me, where I was a bit like I felt like it was a chore watching it as opposed to enjoying it. And I did start. I lose me a little bit, I will admit, because like I love anything culty, like I love anything foresty culty, but like a health clinic cult, I'm like I'm not even in the door. I'm checked out.
You mean last season, not this season?
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Okay,
last season's what I'm saying. Yeah, whereas this season, with like it's culty and it's in the woods and like all the like the building that up more, and I'm like I'm so in. So like yeah, like there was so much that I needed to be paid off of, like a lot of questions that were answered that I liked. I like as well like the overarching thing of like. And the one thing I hear that, one thing I hope that they don't do, which is what Lost did, which I know Ian you'll get, is the whole like we have to go back, because it feels like they're teasing that a little
Oh, they're
bit. With, like,
absolutely doing that, Adam. What
you
are
know what I
talking
mean?
about?
You know what I mean? But like at the end, where
I-
like all the characters, that it's still got the the woods have still got their like it's grip in them. It's still got their claw in them all, and they haven't changed. I'm like, if they go back to that fucking forest,
Absolutely.
But,
I'm excited. I
but
hope
yeah.
they do. Like
I
I'm
want
very
them
ready
to,
for
yeah.
them to go back.
I feel like that's
But
absolutely
yeah.
what we're getting. Yeah.
But overall, I really do like it.
Ashley, what'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I think I left with even more questions, but it did answer a lot of things for me, and I really enjoyed the drama of it all. Like the drama of the hunt like just sucks me, and I'm like, no, this is awful. This is horrible. Plus we get that I absolutely love the scene with Shauna and Misty in Misty's living room when she's trying to explain to her that it was Callie that killed Lottie. That scene, I think, is like one of my favorite Yellowjacket scene. The dialogue is so good in that scene.
Christina Ricci, I feel like Christina Ricci and Melanie Lindsay they're both such good actors, and they
Yes.
play really well off each other because their characters are so different. And Misty is like still like a nerdy, goofy character. And Shauna pretends to be this like normal suburban mom, but is also a cannibal on the inside and like
Cannibal on the inside.
like sociopath. But like I loved Misty's line of like, please don't tell me you're taking responsibility for your actions because I might die of a heart attack. Like,
Yeah.
I really liked her being like, she needed someone to talk to, but you were busy eating your ex-girlfriend's arm, so...
Exactly. Taking chunks off
and
of
I'm
this
just
woman.
so proud of my baby girl Misty standing up for
Yes,
herself.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't
Finally.
wait to get
Yep,
to that
yep.
part. They play so well off each other just in interviews too. Like it seems like their
Yeah.
roles are kind of switched in interviews. Melanie
Yes,
Yeah.
has
yes.
a lot more of the I don't know, of the Misty, I guess.
Quirky.
Christina Ricci's like still like angsty 90s teen, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I mean that complimentary.
I saw somebody doing a TikTok talking about the show, and they were talking about Christina Ricci, and they called her Christina Ricci.
No.
No, Richie.
I was looking for the
Big
report
fan.
button, how to report for bullying or something.
I loved it. I So I talked about this with all three of you before. This season, especially, and I know this is going to be so corny, but like, especially this season has like really like emotionally destroyed me. Because it feels like everything's a Trump metaphor now, and I hate it, but like everything is. And like, it feels very relevant because Shauna is like Donald Trump, also the devil. In these
Don't
flashbacks,
call her Donald Trump. I rebuke it. I decline it. I rebuke it.
She is an asshole. She is not a good person. She is not a nice person. There is no redeeming qualities of this devil demon child. And yet everyone listens to her. And it's like, why? Why are we listening? And
because she's scary.
And not enough of a reason. We're going to get to it too, because I'm fired up over that lady.
Yes. And like, I feel like nuts, and it feels so bleak, especially bleak because Nat, like, I could cry. That ending of Nat is like hopeful, but also like not, because we know some of them are gonna, but like this one person who is like doing all the work to like try to keep everyone sane, and no one is fucking listening to her, and she's like the one that is like, I got it. I got the signal. I got someone, and we know that she's going to die. And I just, it's like,
I was thinking, how do we know she's going to die?
And where's Juliette Lewis?
I kept crying because, like, you know, Mari sacrifices her, and like everyone she sacrifices herself for is like mostly dead, and like, and the ones that are the worst are the ones that are like Lottie lasted this long, you know, like Shauna's of course gonna last at least to the end of the series. And like, it's not that it's bad storytelling, it's just like really upsetting for me, and I keep finding myself crying over like when Misty's like, you're not gonna tell everyone, are you? I like bawled because I'm like, oh, this poor insane child who just like
she has
doesn't know.
Such a huge benefit in this show though, because the camp is already batshit crazy. If they brought that up too, it would be hell pandemonium. Like, these girls would be so unruly, they would all be killing each other. There would be a one standing. So she's fucking lucky. Because Natalie does not want to shake that up right now. I am just like really curious if they know in present day, and I don't suspect they do, but it's possible that they do, and we just haven't been let into that yet. I think I wasn't let down by the episode. I enjoyed it a lot. I think there was just something, and I don't even know what it is, but there's something that I just can't put my finger on, that I guess, for lack of a better
I thought you froze.
I thought you froze too.
Maybe I'm thinking buffering. I guess, it did let me down a little bit, but I don't know what it is either. Like, I'm just not sure. What it might be is that this does not feel like what they had planned in the beginning. Something feels like it was changed, and I think it was probably Nat leaving. That changed. Juliette Lewis leaving. Because this finale felt a little bit rushed. Which is so weird because we've been leading up to Pit Girl. Like, I've been like the fucking Pit Girl. But then it happens like so just all over the episode, and like the episode feels like there's so many different things happening. Like there's fade ins and fade outs and fade transitions between scenes so often, and like it just felt like really chaotic for one episode. I felt like two episodes shoved into one episode, and I don't know. I just don't know. Hopefully, as we discuss it, I'll sort of put my finger on it a little bit easier, but I just don't get what it was.
I thought this felt like the most complete episode.
I don't know.
We've gotten like ever from the show.
It is. There's a lot of really quick cuts because, like I said, I did my notes in chronological order, and there's a lot of like switching back and forth. But to me, I felt like it was intentional because this episode there is so much chaos going on both in the past and in present day, and I thought it was kind of like to add to that feeling of like discombobulation and confusion.
I liked
and I think one of the big things as well.
Editing was great.
No, definitely. Like, it had you like feeling that confusion, like you were swept up in the chaos, which it does really well. But I think one of the big things for me, kind of building on like Nat, like Juliette Lewis not being in the show, is that, in the modern day sections, when she was there, she was like such a presence and she was always there, so like I still feel the weight of her not being there. So like in this finale, we didn't get a lot of like, the present day stuff. Whereas I feel if Juliette Lewis was still in the show, we definitely would have. And I miss her so much from that. I really do. And I love like Misty still wearing a jacket and all of that shit. So there's still like something in there.
Biggest reason I like still feel her presence. Is every time I see that jacket on screen, I immediately like am picturing her.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that she's still wearing it.
So what we're gonna do is I broke it up into sections. I did my professor thing for a change. I got a lot of. I sent Zach a video just scrolling through the notes because there's a lot of see this section. Now go here. Look at this. So we're gonna start with Lottie. I spent so much time ragging on Lottie, and Zach, we said this too. This season, we liked this.
I loved her this season.
Yeah,
take her out of the fucking wellness cult. Like, take her down a couple pegs.
Yeah.
I don't think I like seeing her in a leadership position, but I loved her background, all the background stuff. Getting more insight into her like mental health issues, and like I loved all of that, especially adult Lottie. I feel like we snuffed her out too soon. That's what I feel like for most of these characters. For her and for Van, I feel like their stories were unfinished.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Lottie's feels like that was the intention because that's like a mystery, but it feels like they were like, oh shit, we already killed Lottie and now Lauren Ambrose wants to leave, so now we also have to kill Van.
Did she want to leave? Because I thought from some things that she said that she's not happy with how that happened.
Yes, they all seemed. I read a couple interviews. No one seemed happy about it.
Everybody's unfollowing each other. Man. Everybody's making shady comments. Like there's a dumpster fire going on.
Dana Piccoli and you, Ashley, have taught me how intense. I always thought it was like the gay male fandoms that were like too intense and too much and Nightmares Online, and I have since learned that is not the case. It's not just the like younger gay men, because oh boy, the lesbians on Twitter like have been going in. I have learned so much about the drama just from them posting. Like it was like, did you see that adult Lottie unfollowed adult Ty? And like
they are tuned in, man.
They are.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, oh, great. This makes it easy for me to know. I don't have to look for it. It's just there on My Bloody Judy's timeline because it's like My Bloody Judy is all Yellowjacket stuff recommended. But I was glad, even though I would have preferred her to wake up on the plane. I don't know why she wouldn't wake up on the plane and just like walk out into the hallway anyway. Like, okay, sure. Just like she gets up from her chair, walks, and then she's in the hallway. But I was glad we at least got some kind of like Lottie meeting her younger self, because even though I did not love Lottie, she deserved that. Like I felt like she deserved the same kind of end that the rest of them have gotten, where like they meet themselves. And it did make me cry when she was like, I'm gonna cry. The like every time when they're like, wait, am I dead? And it's like you feel the like they survived so much, and then now they're. It's
I better not see a Misty scene like that. Better not fucking happen. Burn Showtime to the ground.
And I just think like both actors played it so well. Like,
oh yeah.
Lottie, like young Lottie being kind to older Lottie. Like
it is really curious that she didn't get the plane though, because earlier I was thinking, well, Van and Natalie at the times of their death had sort of like rejected the wilderness, rejected what it wanted, right? And so that maybe put them on the plane, and that's why we didn't get Lottie on the plane, because Lottie was still intentionally seeking that out. And I think that could still be it. But then with this, I'm like, oh well, she's still getting a thing. She's still getting meeting her younger self and all of that. So what does this mean then? And then I was like, oh, well, see, that's the thing, is the show makes me spiral. Because then I was like, oh, well, what if this isn't her death thing? This was a vision from before that she maybe had. So I'm all over the place. I don't know what the fuck this means.
I thought about that too, because like at the end of it, when she like snaps back, and I was like, so was that her?
Right. Yeah.
Right, yeah, same. And you got to give it props for like being committed to it the whole time. Like even the moment when, like Callie pushes her off the stairs, like Lottie's face, it's not like shock, it's like, oh, here we go. Like, I'm going to it now. This, I am making the sacrifice to it. So it's all built up to this moment. And I really like that small little look on her face when she was like, oh, and that actress is beautiful, by the way. She's gorgeous. But yeah, like as she's going back and like just that look on her face, I was like, yes, like I loved that about her.
Glamour shot of her.
Yes.
And she like,
it was done
really well. Yes.
Yeah, she looked extra fantastic this episode. And even when like her body thumps on the ground, I was like, she looks great. Like she's
like rising up from the fucking table. You know, it's your hair's on point, Lottie. You're doing great. You're looking wonderful.
That's what I would, at least if I'm gonna die from being pushed down 8 steps, I would hope I look great.
I know we're still kind of like jumping back and forth between like, is this supernatural or isn't it? Because that's a question that like everybody has completely forgotten about by the middle of the season because so much shit was happening. I would love to see her like resurrect. I think Lottie would be fantastic to resurrect if we're going to go supernatural route.
Oof.
Bring her back. But I like don't they keep giving us red herons as well, where like the screaming in the woods turned out to be the frogs? And then, but then there's other
supernatural at all.
We keep getting logical explanations.
It has to be supernatural. How the fuck did Lottie walk across a pit and not fall in?
There could be so many different explanations for that. One, we didn't see what the pit was looking like. We saw a here up shot when she was walking across.
No, we see the ground.
That pit could have had. She could have just been walking on those just exact right points. She could have been distributing weight. I don't fucking know, but that is explainable. That's not enough of a thing to say.
Okay.
And we know they manipulate everything.
How did Travis know that Jackie and Shauna had slumber party makeouts?
That was weird when he said that.
We all figured they had slumber party makeouts. They're lesbians.
A straight dude in 1997 does not infer
lesbians.
I mean, I don't know.
An honorary lesbian himself.
A straight dude in 1997 that's done so many mushrooms since being out in this.
With nothing but other women and queer women.
That's all he thinks about.
But like there are a lot of little things like that where it's like, well, they're like, but they're doing that on purpose to keep. I think it has to be supernatural. My biggest gripe with this season, aside from Van's death, would be the fucking stupid toads. I thought that was so dumb. Because like it just wouldn't sound like that. Like it wouldn't sound like
it did, Ian. It did. I don't know how many toads you're in the forest scientificating, but that's what they sound like.
All right, we're moving on to Misty visiting Callie at school. I love the idea of fucking Misty trespassing at a high school just to be like.
She shows up. I sent you that picture. She looked like fucking Laurie Strode showing up in Halloween 2018 with her hair sitting with her hands in her pockets of her jacket, harassing this child at school.
Yeah. Like she went to a high school to confront a teen girl about a possible murder.
Followed her into the fucking bleachers.
And they had that full conversation just right there in the open. Anybody could be lurking around anywhere.
But the thing I like is that Misty didn't, it's not like she cared. She just wanted to know. Yeah. Like, it's not like she didn't want to do it. She just, like, needed to know the facts.
She's a citizen
because she's
detective.
Nosy. Yeah.
She is filing that away. She has a file on everybody. What did everybody think of Kelly being the killer?
I knew it. I knew it.
You and Dana both had called it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Dana texted me after the finale to be like, how many things did I say correct? And I was like, yes, you said a lot of things correct.
Yeah, I think they built up like the relationship between like her and Lottie as well, like in a way that kind of suggests that like, it would make sense if it was her. But I did like how shit of a liar she was when like Misty confronted her, and then she was just like, "You don't have any proof of that," and she's like, "Bitch, I know you shot Mr. Burns. Like, I know it was you. Like, come on." Like, but yeah,
she caved so fast. Shauna would be so disappointed.
If Shauna saw that fucking moment, she would disown her. She'd be like, "You deserve to be eaten.
You're my child.
You would turn out to be so boring.
You're my child. You didn't just manipulate and deny. What is your problem?"
Shauna's trying to put on the tears in this episode. She's committed full time.
That woman. That woman.
Fucking crocodile tears. Get out of here.
Those frog tears.
I also like that Misty is like, did you also drug me? No, I understand why. I just want to confirm. Like, I love when she's like, that makes sense. You're annoyed at your mom. And that's why you drugged me.
Calling her out on her shit, as she should.
And like later when she's like, oh no, I advised her not to go to the police. I'm like, oh, man, I love you. Like,
Yeah, I do love the little flashback with the murder, because she's almost there. Like I love Callie being the one to be like, "Mom's fucking dangerous. My mother is dangerous."
Yeah.
She's like, and I loved the line of Lottie saying that what it was. When you look into her eyes, it's like looking into
Yeah.
the earth. Oh my
Straight
god,
into
chills,
Yeah.
chills,
Yeah.
crazy. And then she's like almost there, and I don't think she gets snapped back and is her mother's biggest fan again, but like then
No.
realizes, oh, you're crazy too. Like the lesbians that were in the forest are crazy.
Yeah, and Lottie says to her, "You're just like her, but more." And like,
Hmm.
she says a lot of like nuts
Yeah.
shit to like a teenage girl. Like, this is a child. Like, fucking relax. Although she's probably 18, but still,
I
she's, like,
do
a
think she
teenager.
is insane, though.
Oh,
Which one?
Kelly.
Callie,
yeah,
the
yeah, which
look
Callie?
that she got when she
Yeah.
pushed her down, like that was
Yeah.
not because you were
Because
scared.
I'm telling you, she is
Yeah.
her mother's daughter. She's her mother's
Yep.
daughter. She still has a little
She'll
bit of Jeff
snap.
inside of her, but she
Yes.
is. This will not
She
be the
has
last
both.
murder.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's why she caved. That's why she admitted it. That's why she did feel bad.
Yeah.
I think because she's still not 100% Shauna.
Yeah.
And I almost think that's what Lottie's inferring. Like, that's why you're her, but better. Because like you can murder me in 2 seconds, but also you still have feelings. So like that's a better person, I guess, to feel bad about doing a murder that you do rather than doing 100 and feeling nothing.
Oh.
And her
She
killing Lottie
kills
like only
Shauna.
proves her right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I was like, I've fallen down steps like that. You don't die from that. Like, she should have landed like weird. I guess they just wanted
She
to,
landed
like,
on her head. That was a
Yeah, like,
a pretty
wow.
Actually, it looked
heavy.
like
And
she
that's like
landed
concrete. Were you landing on your head on concrete? Who pushed you down? Who was it? Tell us.
I slipped down a staircase in St. Martin that was concrete. It's
Crazy.
it was
And you
covered in
landed on your
rain.
head like that on the back?
Jesus.
Right there?
I think I landed on my side and I smacked my head and like had a bruise here and then on my hip because I was helping my mom down the steps because they were wet because it had rained and the steps were outside. And it was like my mom, it was like 10 years, 15 years ago or something like that. I don't know. But like that was like maybe 30. And I was like, I don't want my mom to fall. Like, let me make sure. And she was like getting annoyed at me. And I was like, my dad was holding her hand behind her, but like holding her hand. And I was in front of her. And I was like, she was getting annoyed because I was like walking like this to make sure she didn't fall. And then I slipped in the rain and I fell down the stairwell.
Did she laugh?
And my mom yelled and said,
Oh.
"Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then she laughed so hard she cried. When she-
I was wondering. I know that pissed you off. Whenever I used to hit my head, and this is like up until I was like 23, 24, I would always be like, oh, well, this is it. And I would like go into my notes app and write like whatever I needed to write, my goodbyes in my notes app or something, like this is it. Because that lady, Natasha, that actress, I forgot what her last name, Natasha Richardson, right? That was her. She like hit her head on like a snow trip. She was like skiing and like hit her head and then like 12 hours later just died because she had hit her head. And so I've always just imagined you hit your head, you're coming
That's it.
for you.
Yep, done.
Isn't that
Oh, man.
kind of how Bob Saget died too? Wasn't it like he had like a
I
head?
didn't follow up on that,
I had a friend who passed away that way. Actually, like it is a thing that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we see that it's not only does Lottie look great, but I thought it was shot really beautifully. Like,
The candles and everything.
yeah,
good
it
shot.
looked, yeah,
like
it looked,
slow mo.
Yeah.
I love a slow motion fall.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was a bigger staircase because also then I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense, but also would have added to the drama of her falling.
She's falling.
Ian wanted her falling down the fucking exorcist steps. Like that's what you wanted.
That is
102
yes, you die.
steps.
That's all right. Sure, that makes sense. You're dead. If I've survived that fall, I want everyone
Ian,
else
we
to
will
survive
test it out. The next time we were in person, we will test it out. I will be Callie, you be Lottie. We'll see.
that. That's like foreplay for Zach murdering me.
You got to fall on that head though, right there. Okay.
And that top knot better come out and that hair better start flowing as you're falling.
No,
Yeah,
I
Zach,
would never let you die in dignity. If you died and your top knot came out, I would do it back up for you. I would crack your bone back up.
You're like, no, you're gonna be pissed about this.
Yes.
Even though I
You're
killed
still
him.
a person I cared about in life.
You'd go get my under eye cover up real quick to put it on. So she tells her, like, you will feel better. When Misty first said to Callie, you'll feel better, I was like, is she telling her to the police? But no, she was just saying, admit it to me.
She's like, okay, case closed. We're moving on now.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going
Right,
into
yeah,
season
now-
4.
We're finished with that. We learned that like so then she goes to talk to Jeff. I love Jeff. I know people get tired of like hearing the love for Jeff, but like
I love Jeff too.
I like Jeff.
I really do, and I love.
And now realizing that his daughter's murderous too. Like, what
It's
does
like
that
this
do to
poor
him?
guy.
Can't catch a
needs-
break.
It has to be him. He's got to kill Callie. He's got to kill Shauna. He's got to kill Ty. He can leave Misty alone, but it has to be him.
But I like that he. I like that he was like, she was like, I'm just like mom. And he was like, no, you're not. Your mom took 25 years to tell me 10% of what happened. Like, I was like, all right, this guy's like actually getting on it a little bit. This is good. I think, so someone was telling me they think that Callie will kill Jeff. And I was like, no.
No, I would hate it.
Yeah.
That like her and Shauna will team up. But I don't think her and
I
Shauna,
hope
I don't think
not.
we're leading to a team up.
Are they going to
right?
like have blood on their hands and they're going to hold it and she's going to be like, we have the same blood. This is Shauna's blood.
Because also the two of them teamed up, I feel like everyone's dead. Like, I feel like that's the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think a lot would have to happen between where we
Yep.
left off and them teaming up for that to happen, because they're not at that point with each
Although,
other.
hold on, question for the class. Who do you think is stronger? Evil Ty or Shauna? Because they, in the past, they were going at it, and they had that one moment in the past, and I was,
Ty is the only one that is not afraid of Shauna.
oh, she could have beat that ass. I was like hoping. I was like, oh, please, just do it. Just a little slap.
Just like a.
I don't think we've seen the extent of Ty yet. Like even like
Yeah.
We
when
have
she
not.
put out,
Like, truly have
no,
not.
that's it.
She was
When
killing
she was eating
somebody
the
to
heart?
keep a lady alive. That is insane. How many people has Ty killed?
Exactly. And like when she was eating the heart, I was like, fuck, like here we go. Like,
I was like, okay, if you don't mourn the loss of your lover by eating their heart, was it even love? Was it even love?
So that's next in my
Yep.
notes, Ty and Shauna. So when Liv came on, she was like, Liv's favorites were Ty and Van, and she was like, Liv even texted me after the episode where Van died, was like, you promised me she would last till the finale, Ian. And I was like, I thought she would.
I mean, her body was wrapped up in a rug in
And-
the finale.
All Liv kept saying was she wanted Ty to feed Van someone's heart. We got close.
yeah.
I mean, it was a version of that. It like there was a heart eaten.
So like that's what made me like, to your question, Zach, that's what made me be like, is Ty crazier? Because I don't know that Shauna would like do it out of Shauna's not doing cannibalism out of love,
But
right?
I don't
and
think
Ty
crazier.
was absolutely doing
I
it.
think more dangerous.
Wow.
I don't, because
Okay,
I do think
fair.
Ty is more sane than Shauna. But I think Ty, because she has that evil side in her, is more dangerous, and I think is willing to do more than Shauna
like,
is. Because Shauna
you know
still
what I
needs
mean?
to keep
Yeah.
a picture together, and Ty has
Yes.
already lost her pretty picture.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? I don't think Shauna wouldn't like. She's not eating someone after she kills them to be like, this is because I like if Callie died. She's
Not
eating her
yet.
'cause-
She was ripping chunks off of Hillary Swank's skin, though.
Yeah, but that
was
got
'cause she
pretty
hated her.
close.
That was insane. Then force feeding it to her. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Shauna
But
just
like,
lose
like
that
count.
was the most shocked I was all season.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
like at least season it first. Season it first.
I
didn't even do that. No salt.
Give
no
it a
salt.
sear.
but I was really glad that Ty is like right away, like, don't fucking touch his body. I don't want to talk to you. I was like, thank God, because I was so worried going into this that it was going to be Ty and Shauna teaming up, and I feel like that's undefeatable then.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a lot to talk about with
Yeah.
this. I am very. I think this is one of the things that makes the episode kind of like for me is this Van storyline feels so unfinished now. They were leading up to such great shit with Ty and Van, and I started the season. I remember starting the season saying, I don't really care about them as a couple.
Yeah.
Ended the season, I was fucking like all in on them. The whole plot with Ty killing people to keep Van alive, that should have been furthered, and eventually Ty like rejecting the wilderness or something, or fully embracing it. I don't know. And then Van, they were starting to set her up more helping Ty, right? Like helping, like she was realizing that evil Ty was around. So then, like in the past, why don't we see her helping Ty to come back a little bit more, right? I just feel like there was this, they were building the relationship, they were building how the relationship was so strong and how they were helping each other, and then we just fucking kill Van? Like she's just dead now, and it just feels like Ty keeps getting these storylines that then get dropped like within a season and a
Yeah.
half. And like, what else am I supposed to follow? Because I guess now she's just going to go after Shauna. Is that the rest of her storyline for the show?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're right, Ty. You should
No,
be
I
going
just
after Shauna
loved
for the
them
rest of the
so
show.
much. I loved her and Van so much, and I'm very, very disappointed in the way that that relationship came to an end.
I mean, yeah, I would prefer Van. I told you, like, I was so upset, and I would prefer Van to be alive. But I also do think we killed Nat season 2. We're killing Van. I do think, not that I like it, but I do think it's keeping on track with like, oh, if you're kind of good, oh, if you kind of were like, I see what everyone did was wrong, well, then you're gonna die. Like,
Lottie already
that's why the
died.
show is, but that's why the show for me is like, so, like, I get so emotional because it's so bleak. Like, the only 2 survivors that we have seen who seem to like parse through their trauma in some kind of remotely healthy way. Well, what in a non-murder way? In a non-murder way,
Let's discuss that.
What is mental health in this show?
both die. You know what I mean? It's like they were the only 2 that probably had not been doing murders these last 25 years. I don't think Shauna and Ty care enough. Like, they probably did do a few murders. And I just like, it does like keep on theme of like, oh, you were good. Well, now you're dead. And like Travis was the first one to die on the present day timeline of who we met. And he was kind of like depressed, right? Like one assumes he didn't stop being the way he is in the flashbacks now. I feel like that's going to be how he is for the rest of the show. So like, you know,
He like
didn't murder.
numbed out.
Yeah. And he didn't murder anyone, but he still had to be the first to bite it. So like we're keeping with the thing. I don't love it because I love Van and I wish, and I love Lauren. Lauren Ambrose is so charming, I think.
Yeah.
And I also related to Van as a stunted adult who keeps all stuff from her childhood. Because also I think I'm around the same age as they're older than me, right? Yeah. Because they're seniors in 1997.
I don't know. It was what, 25 years from then?
So they're probably like maybe only like 5-6 years older than me.
Hey, take it. They're older. Take it. Yeah, I think it does that thing though, doesn't it? Like where it's up in the stakes of like the whole show of like, you know, when you're first in season 2, like, and I know that behind the scenes and everything, Juliette Lewis, like there was all of that going on. But when you're going to wipe out a big character like Nat, the stakes are up there. Like, oh, now anyone can go basically, and it does keep you on that. Fuck, anyone can die. But then you can work a lot of mystery of that as well. Like if someone does die, like, you know, in the flashback, but then they are somehow still alive again in the future. How did that happen? So like, there's a lot that they can play with their storytelling. But like, realistically, going into like a 4th season, I'm like, can we keep this going for much longer after a season 4? Like, that's the one thing I'm like, because then it gets dragged out. You know what I mean?
I think it was a 5
I think that would be
plan.
right.
Yeah.
I think that's like
I
enough.
agree. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think I can see it going much further past that. And I think my whole thing is like, sure, the good people die and the bleakness of it all, and I'm okay with that. But it just feels like we start to develop these storylines, and then you just cut them. And I think that's where my criticism comes in, is like, I feel like the Van and Ty storyline was really rich this season, and we were starting to really get into it, and then we just cut it. And I worry about what that's going to do for Ty going forward, because if you just keep cutting all of her stuff off, she's not going to have anything, you know? Like, what am I to care about then? I mean, everybody's going to care about
Right, like
her
what do you cling
taking
on to
down
if it gets
Shauna,
cut?
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm okay.
I care enough about Shauna getting her comeuppance that I can run on revenge and pity for 2 full seasons.
For 2 full seasons, that's what we're gonna get. I do love her being this like really fucking big bad evil lady. Like the big villain of the whole series. I'm obsessed with that.
So towards the end of the present day, we get Ty and Misty. I like Zach. I feel like you're the bigger like I don't even know what that was. Like cinematographer. I have no. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with video. I felt like this was shot. This scene felt like it was shot differently, and I thought it looked really pretty. Like when we pan out and it's them facing each other, but we're seeing it from the side, and like the windows covered in rain and a little bit foggy, and like the lights of the diner. I thought it like looked really great. I don't know.
Yeah, Euphoria when during the pandemic, Euphoria, they shot like two like one-off episodes. One with Zendaya and one with Hunter.
Hunter
And
Schafer.
yeah, and the one with Zendaya was I think it was her and Domingo Coleman. And that was the same sort of thing, so same sort of setup and stuff like that. The diner just immediately made me think of that. But I did love that, and I think I loved how this entire episode was filmed. I should have looked at who like did it, because it felt different than the rest of the season. And just like lingering on Ty for quite a long time before like we go over to Misty, and I don't know, I did love all of that.
I honestly thought she was going to be talking to like Dark Ty, like
I
herself.
did too. Yes,
I honestly think
I was
that,
just about to say that, Adam.
I
Yeah.
was like, here's another crazy lesbian in a diner.
I'm like, why is nobody like acknowledging this? Everyone's just like, what the fuck she did? Like, but then I love that it was Misty that reveal. I was like, oh, here we go. I loved that.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a very interesting pair.
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause we haven't really seen them paired just them
No.
before, right?
No.
And they're both so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think they are the smartest of the like crew. So them teaming up, yeah, I think you're right, Ashley, because they're both so smart. Shauna like runs on like paranoia and like anger and rage and like all those other things, but like they, I think, are smarter. Like I think Shauna's more like tyrant, and they are like the smarter one. Yeah.
Shauna reacts and they act.
Yes.
And that's
I
the difference.
Completely
That's
agree
smart,
with that.
Ashley. Yeah. I loved them being like, and she's not going to be the fucking final girl. Like, I liked that was
Because this is, I love this idea that then all of the Yellowjackets start to realize, oh, well, all of us being alive is shaking up our lives too much. There has to be a last one standing, and it's not going to fucking be Shauna. And nobody ever wanted to team up with Misty. Nobody ever. I love Misty's full circle moment this season because we start the season. She's just like clinging to somebody. She just wants somebody to just fucking be her friend, right? And now she's like, you invited me to dinner. You're going to pay for my dinner. You're going to ask for my services. I'm lead citizen detective on this case. And I tell you, we're going to kill Shauna on this day at this time. That's what we're going to do. And you're going to follow me, right? Because you need me. I don't need none of y'all bitches.
I do need her to remember that Walter's like on her level and she needs to keep an eye on
Walter's
him
scary. And I've been telling you, Ian, Walter is scary now.
Yes. He
was listening to Raining Blood.
Yes, from the beginning of this season, and I've been like, why is she not following up? Like, she has to know that he is following them, and well, he's not. Like, I just don't understand why she just completely wrote him off. Like, not a danger.
So I will say, so I rewatched it today just because I had watched it whenever it premiered, like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I need to do a refresher, and I wanted to take better notes. This time around, I was like, maybe he's like. There's like not a secret. It's like Misty had him drive her there because she did call him just like the last episode. She wasn't mad at him. She was meeting up with him. She called his helicopter in and like he flew her to his gigantic mansion.
That makes
and
sense.
she left because of what she saw, which we thought I thought it was like, oh, she found evidence against Walter, but no, it was just, she didn't want to tell Walter.
Moment,
yeah. And she didn't want to tell Walter because I feel like even with the hatred of Shauna, they still have their like community respect where it's like, that's not his business. This is this business.
Yeah. Stay out of women's business. Stay out of our business. This is women's stuff. No, I don't think she's in with Walter anymore. I don't think she likes Walter, and I think she's pulling away from him. Because the Caligula scene, I had to like watch that a couple times because I wasn't sure if Caligula died, and she was like getting rid of the cage. But I feel like she would have been more upset about that. She was getting rid of the name tag that Walter put on there.
Oh, see, I also was like, did Caligula die and I missed it?
I know. I had to go to the Reddit. So all credit to the Reddit people, right, for answering my questions, right? None of these are my ideas. Also, Raining Blood, as Walter's listening to it. Remember, Walter has been this soft boy listening to show tunes this entire series.
Yeah,
and
I
now he's
noticed
listening
that.
to Raining Blood by Slayer, and that song is all about like revenge and getting back at
Yep.
somebody. He's got a fucking connection to them in the past, and he is out to he is like worming his way in there, and he's out to fucking get them. He's 2 steps ahead of them already.
Yeah. My Zach was like, I think he's related to the scientists somehow.
Somebody he has to be.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I'm so bad at math. I like in my head. I'm like, wait, how old is that person? Does that math add up? Like, could he be their child? Like, I like.
They need to release the dates. Release the timeline.
I really need like a Charlie Day map. Of
Yes.
Because I also think we're still back in 2021, technically within show.
Oh, you're right.
And if look, maybe 2022 at the
Yes.
latest, but
Because 25 years, Jeff says
Yeah,
it took your mom
yeah.
25 years to tell me, and
Yeah.
I'm doing that math right now. I'm a little slow with it, but you're
I don't have
right.
my calculator. I can't do the math.
So, present timeline, we kind of end that timeline with Shauna going back to her home. I have a question. I know I'm the old here. They mention about turning off their phones, but then Jeff still texts her back. I don't understand that. Is that a thing that can happen because like if you're
Only
connected to
Callie's
Wi-Fi?
phone was off.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She specifically says, and now Callie's phone is disconnected and Jeff won't answer my calls.
Okay. Okay. That
Yeah.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
I am not quite. I'm not quite sure what this scene was telling us. Is the only thing that like. I know that it's like we're setting up Shauna versus Misty and Ty, but I don't understand the relevance of her finding the note and then just ripping it up and having flashes of all like the bad shit she's done. I wasn't
I
quite.
had to really pause and read that note too. Like I was trying to look for the crazy in it, and there wasn't really any crazy in it.
It looked
was-
normal. Yeah.
It was exactly
Yeah.
what Melissa said it was.
It was what Melissa said it was, and then it made Melissa look saner than she
Yeah.
ended up being. So I'm confused on that because then we know Melissa killed somebody and ran out of the fucking house. So what is happening there? And it's not that she killed somebody out of self-defense. She looked into her eyes
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
like stabbed her and said like a little ominous thing and then fucking left, right? So it's not like she wrote this innocent note that aligned with the last time we just fucking saw her.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's why this scene was the one that like left me being like, the most. And I get that basically we're just getting to like present day Shauna is going back to her young Shauna ways, but
I think it was the forgive yourself line of the note because she got hung up on that. It stays on the on the screen longer than all the other flashes.
Bad fucking advice. Shauna, do not forgive yourself.
I know, but I don't
what
think
you
she's-
did was okay.
I don't think that she feels that bad about it in the first
No, she
place.
doesn't.
And so like the fact that somebody like Melissa that she has the past that she has with told her to like forgive herself and then right now she's got nothing. Like she's got absolutely nothing and it brought back everything else that she's lost along the way. And so that's when it like made her snap to be like, I'm a fucking queen.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm taking my life
She's about
back.
to girl boss.
I mean,
gatekeeping.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think just in my notes, I literally just had like Shauna's self-reflection question mark because like like she is thinking back to, and I think it's one of the big things I said earlier on, like in this, is that all of the characters are somehow thinking back to their connection to that island. So with all the flashbacks to her on that island, it is still that, oh my god, I've left this island and that person I thought I'd left behind, but how far I thought I'd come when actually I'm still that person, which is why she's still reflecting back on everything like that. Which it makes sense with her because as we've said, she's a loose cannon, and like. It drives me nuts to that character how she can sit and like hug Lottie's father and give him what he needs in that moment, but yet can't show the same love for her own family. Like there's just something so tapped about her.
She's just, I don't think she has a carrying bone in her body. She cares about a very select few things. And the only reason she got upset and like was throwing those tears on in this episode is because her ass is making a hot pocket instead of making dinner for her family, which is very representative of she has spent all of this time creating this mask and this illusion of her life. And that is why else? Because she is incredibly bored in her life as well, right? Like this life that she's living, this sitcom life is very boring to her. However, it is the only thing keeping that mask on. It is the only thing keeping other people away, keeping anybody from asking questions about the past, anything. This is what she needed. And the fact that they left and took all their clothes and they're not texting her. she did break down because she's like, fuck, my mask is gone. Somebody came and ripped my mask off of my motherfucking face, and now I'm pissed.
That's why I forgot to mention this earlier when we talked about it. That's why I do think she was nervous when they were driving with Van, because I think Ty is the only person that like she knows is not scared of her. And so I think not that she felt bad, but I do think she respects Ty. I think Ty, she has like a game recognized game
Because she
respect.
knows Ty will kick her ass.
Yeah. And I think she knows that, right? And so for her,
she's
it's
not
like,
biting flesh off of Ty's arm.
no. And so I do think she was like almost like worried when Van, because like I think deep down she was like, fuck, this is kind of my fault. Ty's the only one that like maybe could best me, and now she will have reason to be mad at me. Shit. But when she was reading what she was writing, I also like, I was like, who is this note for? Like,
on this
It's
little
for her.
notepad. I thought she was about to write her life story down on this little notepad.
2,000 pages.
The story of Shauna Shipman, my life.
I definitely think it's the mask thing, though, like the mask slipping up. Because remember, like, Callie was always really close to her over Jeff. Like, they had their thing. And that the fact that Callie chose Jeff instead of her and left with Jeff, I think suddenly in her mind, she's like, fuck, I'm normally the one who, like, wears the trousers in this family. I'm the one that's been left. Everyone is now seeing me for who I am. So I think it is a lot of that self-reflection, mask slipping. And she kind of feels, in a sense, I'm losing my power over these people.
and she says in her note, I wrote, all these are in all caps. Deep down, we knew we were having fun. Motherfucker, that was only you and Lottie that were having fun. Everyone else was
the only ones.
miserable. And when she's like, I was a warrior, I was a fucking queen. It's like, no, you were a mass murderer, you asshole. Like,
You were a mass murderer, and you were the only one having fun because Lottie was just crazy. Lottie had a
That's
mental
true,
illness,
yeah.
right? Like Shauna was taking a thrill in this.
So, but I do think, which I think Melanie Linsky will do such a good job. I think we're gonna get like equally unhinged Shauna in both timelines now.
I love it.
And
I love it. Well, wait, no, because I think we'll have a moment where we cross and they intersect, right? But now we're kind of flipping them because in the present, Shauna is going to start reverting back to wilderness Shauna, and if it goes the way I'm like really hoping, because I'm ready to get out of the woods. If they go home in the past, she's going to start conforming and going back to like, let me start making that mask. We're going to see like the creation of the mask, and I think that is fucking brilliant. I'm like so excited to see this.
I don't know if it was more of I think it was an unintentional mask that happened. I think she got thrown back into the real world. She was forced to like live a normal life, normal. And so she kind of like goes numb and just like lets it happen. And then when the series started, that started to fall apart like brick by brick, right? And now she's remembered who she is. You know, like it's not like she was willingly conforming. It just kind of happened.
I agree with that.
I
agree with that, but I think that that is the only thing she's ever had to like cling on to now. And so like that is what she's going to fight tooth and nail for at the very end here. But is she even going to care because she's now lost it? Is she going to care?
Exactly.
And is she going to go just full batshit? And what does that mean for her? Because she is still in a society. So like, what does this mean? She's not in the
Not
woods.
if they
She
go
can't
back
just
to
chase-
the woods.
Listen, she gets those antlers back out. She gets the gown.
Oh
back
my
out.
God! Could you
Maybe
see present day Shauna in the
Yeah.
Antler Queen
And
costume?
that would be so cool.
Maybe we see the teens leave the woods and the adults go back in at the same time, and then our timeline.
Crazy, man. I would love to see the flip.
I think it's
Let's
gonna
flip
happen.
them.
I've been saying that all fucking season. That's absolutely what's gonna happen
We
because
have to
that's
go
what,
back.
Yeah.
again, Adam, that's what they did on Lost, and I know that's what we're going towards. And I feel like that will make sense too with the characters, with what we've been getting. But with that, let's go to the flashback. My first notes at the top of my flashback say in all caps, Shauna Shipman, I fucking hate you.
Checking Natalie's bed like that, and her hair was
like-
not done. She didn't have her little bandana on or nothing.
No,
Like-
they jerked her out of bed for sure.
The fuck is this? Nazi Germany? What do you mean a bed check? Like, Also, I don't even know what they're particularly checking for. They all have weapons, don't they? All have weapons.
And
Like,
why was it only Natalie?
Yeah, at first I was like, are they looking for the phone? But no, it's like it truly it is just a fuck tactic, is what it is. There's nothing that they were searching for. She is just fucking with her. She's making
It's
sure
a power
that
play.
because and I went back to 2 episodes prior to when Shauna does say, "Nobody's leaving, everybody stay." There was only 3 of them standing there: Shauna, Lottie, and Ty. That's it. Why the fuck is Shauna in such a power position? I don't understand this.
hello, the Trump metaphor. That's exactly what it is. Because it's like, why are people
I still
listening
rebuke
to her?
that. Shauna is not Trump.
She's smarter, but like as we said with Kingpin, Adam Kingpin's also smarter, but he's
No,
there's
I
still the
love my
metaphors
crazy
there.
lesbian.
And like, yeah, I just like it. That shit makes me so mad and so I get so heated because I'm like, what the fuck are you talking to Nat? Like why are you doing this to her? And it really, I mean, she's targeting Nat because she knows Nat is. So, right, Shauna kind of goes along with the wilderness shit. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't care. She just wants to stay there and kill people and eat them. Like, that is her end game. And Lottie's kind of like, well, the wilderness. She's like, yeah, you're right. The wilderness, great. Who am I eating? Like...
Lottie's like, I haven't had my schizophrenia medication in like a year and a half.
Shauna's like, no, but you're right. No, yeah, the wilderness is talking to us. Tell me who to kill. My notes are insane for this beginning. It's like, man, fuck this. Poor Nat. I hate Shauna. Shauna really needs to die. I love Nat and Misty so much. Stupid
Shauna
fucking
will never die in
Lottie.
the past. She will never.
No, yeah. And then I say, see Lottie, Misty, and Callie section for more on this.
Can we talk about that actress though? Because she plays it so well. Like, she makes me fucking hate
Shauna.
her.
Oh, Shauna, yeah,
We're talking
she
about
is
Shauna.
great.
Amazing. And the thing that she started doing as well is like downturning her mouth a lot. Like her entire face.
Yes.
The way she positions her face has changed throughout the entirety of the show. And the more deranged she has gotten, you see it on her face. And I don't know if that's an acting technique or not, but it's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
No, and I mean, when they're like doing the stuff, when they're doing like the bad murders or whatever, in the past, young Sean is always like,
She's like, this is the best.
She's cheesing, she's having a great time. Also, isn't that actress like she's maybe British, French? I don't know. I feel like
she's not American.
No,
she's
I don't know.
American. What? No, she's American.
No,
Lottie is something else. I think Lottie is Australian or something. But I'm pretty sure young Shauna is American.
I saw some interview with her where I remember being like, oh, I didn't realize that wasn't her
There's
accent.
a few of them with accents. But
She sounds like me.
She doesn't have one.
I'm
We'll have to fact check.
She's French Canadian, yes. She's
French Canadian. Oh, nice.
Okay, well, Canadian, we're not going to count Canadian as like a very different accent.
That is an accent. But that's what we're talking about, Ashley. We were still kind of correct. But yeah, no, that actress, she's great. And like, I'm really glad that these actors, especially the young ones, are kind of like I feel like they are getting their flowers where they're like,
oh yeah,
definitely.
Did you see
And,
that
like,
the actress who played her and the actress who played Lottie, or I hate that I don't know their names also. I read them and it doesn't stick. Like,
Same.
But they are like, they like have such similar interests that they just bought the rights to some book and they're gonna produce this. They're trying to get this book made together. Like, I love that. Like
really
that
cool.
sisterhood is like, even, you know, they're now working together on other projects and stuff like that.
I saw some interview, and now I can't even remember which one. I think it was Sophie Thatcher, and I can't remember who the other one was, where it's like on the red carpet separately, they both were like, I can't wait to see so-and-so again because I love her and she's my best friend and we're going to sit next to each other. And then at the end, which would be me, she's like, but did she say the same thing about me? And it's like, yeah, they did.
I love all of them. I love their behind-the-scenes talks. I love the actress who plays Misty taking pictures with every dead body that they have on set. And then how when any time a character dies, they have like a going away funeral themed party for each of them.
The Coach Ben one was so good because they printed out and they printed out the meme that said "fuck them kids" with his face on it. But yes, we see Misty coming out of her tent and she's looking roof. Her and Van have their little where she's like, Is there any
Love
progress?
this. See, I love it. I love it. I
Not
love that there's
suspicious
this,
at all, this
there's
conversation.
secret plan going on that some of these girls are in, and they're having little coded conversations. And I wish we'd had a couple more episodes of that, because I think like the plotting really gets me invested, and I like because I love that in a show is when characters start to plot a thing, and we're like, oh my god, is their plan going to come to fruition? Is it gonna like, are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Because when they did that, it was the last episode, right, where they were like plotting to like leave that night. That shit got me so fired up. I was so on edge and like my face up to the fucking screen.
That also, to once again for the trillionth time reference Lost, Adam, remember when they planned a thing with Michelle Rodriguez in Lost?
That's literally what I was just about to say. I'm like, the
And
amount of Lost references, I'm like,
it did not go well for them on Lost either.
Oh, this one is
no.
Lost
But
lesbians.
I love I did love the payoff of this though, of like Misty's face at the end, like just the payoff of this, like that fucking eat shit.
Well, she better be all in on this plot, all in on this plan, helping every way she needs to help, because this is her fucking fault.
And
Right.
Samantha Henratty, I think is how you say her name, has such a good face. Like
Yeah,
her
I love
face
her.
looks
Love
so
her.
innocent, and when she like in the previous night when they're like out of their tents and she says to Natalie, she's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Don't fucking talk to me." And she's just like,
Okay. Yeah.
like, and she knows she fucked up because she did. And like, God. But yes, moving along, we get Akila screams. The animals are all dead, which I don't know that I buy that Akila like would have willingly murdered all of her animals. She wasn't
Right.
believing this
She
shit.
was so bad.
'Cause Lottie told
I
her.
don't think she like entirely didn't believe it either, though.
Yeah.
I think she is very like is I think that gas fucked with her head a lot. Like I think she is truly in kind of a spiral.
I
Right?
And I think that Travis was like, it was the fucking gas, bro.
I guess like to me, I'm like, that feels like if she was Lottie and she killed her animals, I'd be like, yes, that tracks because Lottie's insane and she's committed to this. But Akila loved those animals, and that was like all she had.
Sometimes you do crazy shit when you are crazy. So
And when you're being literally gassed up, and not even the gas, like with Lottie, like gassing her up, saying, no, these visions mean something. You must do this. And like, she's the one that's playing into that. The only one really that's playing into those visions and saying, these mean something. You must follow this through.
well, and
So I think,
continue.
no, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean that's religion, right? Like that's how a lot of people get indoctrinated into religion, because
Yep.
you
People become Republicans.
You just have to calm down, Ian. You just have to pray on the wrong person, or I guess the right person, the person who has just enough of that in their head to be scared of a big.
I thought you meant pray with an A, not pray with an E.
pray.
I was like,
well, both, really. It's like you just have to pray on that right person who will believe these sorts of things, who are more susceptible to these sorts of things, and who will be scared enough of if I don't do this, I'm scared of what will happen. Even though there is still a thing in my brain telling me that this is not real, I'm scared of what will happen if I don't do it, and it turns out to be real, right? And I think Akila is the holder for that place, right? The placeholder for that person.
I think I'm curious what you all think. So Nat is like, maybe we should leave. Of course no one goes for that. And Lottie's like, we might need to do blood to prove how loyal we are. And Mari,
And then it's Mari. I know.
like, I was like, no.
And at the beginning of this season, I was like, beat her ass, Shauna. Beat her ass. Now I'm like, I'm going to go back and watch it too. I'm going to be like, Mari, pour that soup on the floor. Shove it in her face.
I had to remind myself that she's a big reason Coach Ben is dead. So at least I was like, well, but like at this point, it's like we take any allies we could get. And I'm like, oh, Mari's the one that suggested this. Fuck. Yeah. But I am curious. When do we think their plans, like, was that their plan all along? Like, did Mari say that because that was their plan? Or did they, after that was done, they were like, shit, let's make sure we shuffle the cards so Shauna gets one?
I think it was just before the cards, like when this had happened, and then they were like,
after this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question.
When they concocted the plan, like when we think they started to concoct the plan.
The cards, they had a plan. They like had shuffled them so Shauna would get it.
Plan, yeah. No,
But
it wasn't.
Well,
That
it was for Hannah.
Hannah was going to get
it.
it. No, Hannah was going to get the queen card.
Not the order of the cards. I think Ian's asking, like, when do you think everyone started to like concoct the plan of this to happen?
Like did they?
When did they have the conversation?
The plan
did Mari say it? The hunt it's like,
no,
the whole
before
hunt,
because that's why they killed the animals was to like make a reason for the hunt.
Mari and Nat and them, their plan, which their plan, yeah,
I caught it.
Okay,
this part of the plan.
Zach, are you there now?
No.
There's a lot of this going on.
So Mari says we need to have a hunt. Mari is eventually the one that dies. But when they're doing the cards, they had a plan. Shauna picked up on there being a plan, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When do we think that plan was formulated? Was it before Mari said we should do a hunt? Or did Mari say we should do a hunt?
I would have to go back and watch again. Yeah. I follow you now, but I'm also like, that's a spot that I'm not seeing in my brain.
Because this was my second watch, and I was wondering about that this time around. I was like, did Mari say that?
I don't even remember Mari saying it. So maybe that's where my confusion is.
I do think that I think Van's been practicing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like she said, she used it for like the chores and stuff. And I don't think that they had intended on using it for the hunt until the hunt was like confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this time around. That's what I was just wondering. Because I forgot that Mari was the one that says it, and I was like, "Fuck, she dooms herself."
It's terrible.
So bleak.
Hannah,
I forgot that it was her that said it too. But then by the time I rewatched today, I had rewatched a little bit of the beginning yesterday, and so I was already like, "Fucking Mari again."
Mm-hmm.
And when she said it this time around, I literally said out loud, "Oh well." Maybe you should have kept your fucking mouth shut.
I was dying over this whole thing. Just dying. Like, Mari became my favorite person in the world at that moment. And I was like, please, Mari, no. I don't want you to be Pit Girl. But then I was like, oh, this could be a fake out, though. It might not be Pit Girl.
Yeah.
And then she takes her jacket off.
Because I was thinking that too. I was like, well, she's in the white, like.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, put your garments away. Put them away,
She took her pants and shoes off too, though. I was like, why would you
do that? It was a weird
Ashley,
decision because
I was also
can't go
wondering
back to camp, you know?
And you die, right?
Yeah,
like, if she made it, she would still die.
You would still die. But
the jacket I understand because it was so loud.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it, I was like, what are you fucking doing?
Because I kept thinking that too. I was like, but girl, if you don't fall in that pit, you're gonna freeze to death. Like,
I was so confused on where everybody was running, like because it didn't seem like we were running outwards. It seemed like we were running like in a circle around camp. Yeah.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
Yeah. And Lottie is like, yes, we're gonna do this. Blah 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 blah. Shauna says Shauna's face again. To your point, Zach. Shauna's face when they're talking about it is like. And then she's like, "Yep, you're right. We got to do a hunt.
She does a little stutter,
yeah.
And it's only again one, she enjoys it, and we know that. But two, like she knows she's a queen now, and she knows she needs to keep dominance. And this is the way to hold on to dominance. So, did she design her own antler queen costume too? By the way, it's like this is how this fucking happened,
right? Because that wasn't what it looked like. Like Nat just had like a.
I do love the foreshadowing that we got all season for all of this, right? Like her biting Mari's arm, the Hannah's hair getting stuck on like the log, when Hannah was running around. Like there were so many. I don't think that this episode exactly went to plan for the original plan, but for all season, like since the beginning of the season, I do think like they stuck with what they said they were going to do at episode 1.
Yeah. And the way when Natalie walks away and the way Sean is like, Natalie, I was like,
yeah,
I know. I said, punch this fucker in the face. Somebody hit her. Yeah. When is somebody gonna hit her?
Shauna would have eaten me already because I would have been the one that stood up to her and she would have kicked my fucking ass and then eaten me.
I cheered whenever Melissa clocked her in the head with that She hit her
And
hard.
then weak ass Melissa.
And I was like,
fucking
she
almost
didn't-
had her. You
She
almost
got
had her.
so close to killing her and backed out, and I was like, you know what? Honestly, I'm surprised she's made it to present day. Because
Hillary Swank would have done it. Hillary Swank would have done it.
She would have.
Actually, I
Even
was
that
thinking
line,
that
like,
too.
I knew you were boring.
If
Ugh.
like we hadn't already gotten Hillary Swank, Shauna would
I would be
killed
like, she's dead for sure.
yeah. So we get Ty and Van kind of discuss things, but they don't explicitly say what. Like, I think that's where I'm a little curious. They talk about a plan and they talk about shuffling the cards, but I'm like, okay, so has this already been thoroughly discussed with like everyone else? Like,
I don't think so, because even she's not even Van's not certain that it's even going to be Hannah until Ty explicitly says, like, we're not all on the same team. She is a stranger.
I remembered that, but I thought Van went with Shauna. I thought that was why Shauna moved, because Shauna was counting them and she knew it was going to be her. Is what I thought.
No, it was going to be Hannah, and I think that I don't think that she knew for sure, like, where it was going to land until it got, like, closer and closer and closer to her, and then I think the plan clicked in her head of, like, oh, they're going to off Hannah because she's the odd one out here.
I don't think so. I think Shauna, and I think this is the part that's a little bit open to interpretation, right? Is like, I think Shauna, because Shauna was so paranoid this whole episode, I think Shauna thought that they had rigged it against herself. And so she jumped in it so that she wasn't going to get that fucking card. And she was making sure she wasn't going to get that card because she wasn't going to stick her neck out for Hannah. She was going to make sure she didn't get that fucking card. However, the plan was never Shauna. It wasn't her. They were like, we'll deal with Shauna later. It has to be Hannah. She's the only new person here, and we have to protect our girls.
Right. I think the reason I thought that it was that she knew it was Hannah because Mari was right beside her, and she also fucking hates Mari, so she picked her moment very specifically.
And it could be. See, this is
in
like
front of Mari to get Mari's card so that Mari would get Hannah's.
Ooh, and I was like, great, everyone play musical chairs. That's what I would do. I'd be like, great, now we're all
reshuffle. We're doing this again.
Shuffle those goddamn cards. Like, again, this is why Shauna would have killed me. So I would have been throwing fists left. And man, when Mari picks that card and she's like, tough break, Mar, I was like,
yes.
Shauna's been waiting. She's been waiting for this moment since episode 1 of this season.
Yep.
She said, bring me his button.
And like, I gotta give it to Mari because she doesn't sell anyone out. She knows that there's a plan, and she's just like, well,
she just needs to make it. She just needs to make it that long, that little bit longer, right? That's all she wanted to do.
And she does lunge at Shauna, but poorly in Shauna, of course, because and man, when she's like, you deserve everything that's coming to you, I'm like, I hate that she still hasn't gotten, because Mari's right, but like, she hasn't really gotten anything. Like, the worst is her husband moved out, but that's really not that bad considering.
We just had so much going on during this hunt too. Like, there were so many different, like, here, there, and everywhere, and all of it worked. All of it worked. Like, I felt really bad for Mari's fucking friend, who's like, I just want Mari to have a chance
to live.
Please. And Van looking at her and be like, well, maybe she'll get away. And like, it just all these little also, I didn't know who anybody fucking was under these masks. I was following Girl in the Pink, and I was like, oh, that's Hannah.
I mean, turned out to be.
We'll get there because I also have another question about that. But yeah, every time, like, and I feel like the four of us have talked about this with Buffy too, where it's like, we like when we're reminded that she's a teenager. And I feel like that was really good when they had that one girl be like, but she's my friend. And it's like, there's just, this poor girl can do literally nothing else to protect her friend because like, everyone's gone nuts and is already hunting her.
And she represents, you want to go into Trump, she represents the voter who's voting and is participating in this democracy, but is getting the shit end of it at all times anyway. You don't fucking believe in this wilderness shit, but she's participating, you know? She's
to survive,
people
and it's like,
your vote counts, and so she's voting, but then Shauna's like, everybody vote again! Do it! Raise your hand!
yes, ma'am. We will change our vote. Yeah, like and when Van breaks down and she's like, but it was Mari, I was like, oh no, my heart. Like,
that hurt.
And I like that the show was reminding us that these are, like, I mean, adults would feel that way about their friend, but the way they were like, but that's my friend. Like, that felt like a teenager, right? Like,
so and Shauna's a teenager, Ian.
Well, but I don't feel bad for her. She's a devil.
She doesn't have feelings, though.
We don't
I don't
age
feel
that
bad.
girl.
I don't feel bad for a child born from Satan's butthole. So like, so I was like, I I'm like, I'm about to jump the gun. So we do get Travis. Also, I got to point out, Travis does stand up to her, which
Fuck
Yeah.
Travis. Travis did nothing.
he
Did
didn't
nothing.
do anything. But
Listen,
like,
Travis has been through a lot.
He has
had to
been
eat
through a
his
lot.
brother. So
because she immediately jumps to like, well, we can eat you like we ate your brother, and it's
yeah, I
like,
was like, what the fuck?
Right.
God,
What a dick thing to say.
like,
Yeah,
I don't think
he
Travis
didn't-
knew where
I'm
the
glad
fuck
he
he
didn't
was.
fucking care though. Yeah, because he
Yeah.
was just like, I hear
He
Jackie.
doesn't know.
I hear
He has
Jackie's
no
voice.
idea what year it is. No.
he was basically like, you and Jackie are big lesbians. So we also get the Ty and Shauna confrontation, which I love.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
And this is that question. Like, which one is the more dangerous one? And it is Ty. It is
Yeah.
Ty. Shauna backed down, and Shauna don't back down to anybody.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her face was so good. The way she was like, blah, blah, blah. I think something, or you betray me. And then when Ty is just like, back the fuck off
Yeah.
and stand, and is taller,
close
it makes
to
it better
her.
that she's taller than
Yeah.
her.
Mhm.
Yep. And she's like, see
She
what's
said,
going
you
to
don't
happen.
know which one of me you're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And I loved seeing Shauna looking, she's like, she's mad, right?
A little startled.
Yeah.
She corrects herself. She's like, oh shit.
Because she
wait.
does have to remember, because Shauna is also like, again, like you were talking about Misty and Ty being, the smarter of them, but Shauna is also very smart.
She's not
And Shauna
stupid,
can
yeah.
read people very well, and she knows
Yep.
which ones she is able to boss around. And I think just
Yep.
for that moment, she forgot that with Ty. But then again, like
Yes.
you said, she corrected herself, and she was not going to do that again.
And that actor, she did such a good job because she's like furious, and then she's just like, oh,
Anybody
we're
else?
losing time.
Yeah, anybody else? Shauna was not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
let Ty go off with. Like if it had been like Misty and them coming up to Misty and being like, "Hey, your friend over here is hurt,"
Yep.
Shauna wouldn't have let them go by. But it was
Yeah.
Ty.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think that like sets up that dynamic well of like, okay, that is the person Shauna's like knows can step up to her and like
Mm-hmm.
again, like we said, like you said, Zach, like Shauna's not stupid. She is like she more reacts and Ty more like thinks it out, but Shauna's not stupid. So she
Right.
knows that adult Shauna also knows this, right? So
Yeah.
like if it's them versus her, she might be a little worried. Which
When
like
they
good,
do-
she should be.
When they do finally go head to head, that's gonna be some good shit.
I'm excited
is.
for that. And like
Yeah.
both actresses selling that whilst wearing those masks so you just see their eyes, like come through. If Ty looked at me like that, I'd be fucking backing down. I'd be crawling into the ground.
I'm just
Yeah.
watching the two lesbians arguing from like behind a tree.
It's the four of us like, we'll sit by this log while you work it out.
Yay, murder! Good job.
I'm like, Don, why don't you come in
Go
here
Ty.
and say that?
I'm like, I'm on whoever side wins.
Go Ty.
When Mari, the shot for shot, like redo of that opening really gave me the chills. I was like,
Yeah,
It was great.
Well, you know
Great.
what gave me the chills, and it was like the star shot of the episode was her body getting dragged with like the blood on her face and her body just like completely naked. It was chilling, haunting.
what really hit me was when we cut to them just like looking at the fucking dead body,
Yeah.
and Shauna's like, get her, and then we pan to like she has like the fucking spike
stick through her cheek.
face.
Yeah.
Like, poor Mari. I just exactly what you said, Zach. Was being season, I was like, fuck her, and now I'm like, oh, but I loved her.
You were right all along, Maury. You weren't bullying her. You saw the devil.
Yeah. You saw and no one else saw. We get Melissa jumping Shauna, and I text Zach this today. I'm like, I have never been more of a like Latino stereotype than when I'm watching this show, because I'm like, fucking kill her, do it. What the fuck are you doing? Like I'm like screaming at the screen. And again, like you said, Ashley, it's like we know that neither of them can die in this scene, but I'm like, do it.
Yeah,
What
and
does
you
it turn
like
down
you
to-
see the light start to leave her eyes.
Yeah.
too, and it's
Oh,
like,
She
that
was
was
passing
really
out.
good. That was so good.
Yeah.
Because it was close. It was very close. And you do have to remind
Yep.
yourself. Melissa just turned out to be like the biggest nothing fucking character. All this build up for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we'll
yeah, I
don't
think
know.
it's gonna get fleshed out later because we still have so many unanswered questions about like her family and like
Yeah.
was like the way she killed Ben, like did she send the tape and everything as a way
Right.
to like get them to come to her so she could kill one of them? Like what happened
They
there.
better do it quick because Hillary Swank, two-time Oscar winner Hillary Swank, is not going to sit around on her thumbs for too long.
No,
And
no,
man,
no.
Melissa has like a humiliation kink because then she just doesn't kill her, and Shauna's like, I knew you'd be boring.
I know.
And like,
That's
it feels
fucking
even
hilarious.
more. It feels even more insulting that Shauna didn't kill her because she's just like, ugh,
Yeah.
you're nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, oh, God.
It's like no wonder that she faked her own death. I also would have been like, oh no, she's gonna find me and kill
Right?
me, so I might as well just kill myself. And
And then
move
what
on.
happens? Within an hour of seeing her biting her flesh off of her arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Melissa might have had it right all along. The most, like, out of the group.
Biggest mistake she made was sending that tape out.
She just threw it in the trash. Yeah, Van crying really hurt my heart. Her being like, but it's Mari. So then we get, what is it? Oh, I'll say that. Oh, this is the part I wanted to ask you about. I know I'm reading my notes and I'm like, Ian, don't say God, I hate Shauna so much again. When they like pull her out, you mentioned Zach, they like hang her up. I think it's either right before or right after she says, again, makes Natalie fucking do it. We get like that weird static. We've had that a few times this season. And we see someone that Shauna saw earlier that is in a very different kind of costume, but it's not the Antler Queen. It's like someone in like a bear rug over their face. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? I didn't understand what that was.
That was in the first episode. I might, if we're thinking about the same thing, in the first episode, wasn't that Misty?
In like season 1, you mean?
Yeah, in the very first episode, and like, I think the person with like the carpet over their face, the carpet-looking thing. I think that was Misty.
But I think the Misty
God,
scene was Misty from earlier when she like, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it's static and it changes, so it's telling us that that's something different.
Yeah.
Like, so I was just unclear as to like, is Shauna seeing something? Is that
No,
is that
was
the
just
woods?
directed at you. It was your influence.
I was seeing something. My hate for Shauna has driven me mad.
I have to watch it again because I'm not.
Yeah,
it's not
same.
coming to my mind.
But like, but there's like maybe 2 times this season when they've done that, when they've done static,
Right.
they had an
Hold
image
on.
and then just cut right
I
back.
do remember
Continue on.
when Van and Ty ditched the restaurant when they were making out. There was like a person over there that appeared and disappeared.
Well, that was the guy with no eyes. That's the guy that she sees sometimes. Do you not remember who that is, Ashley?
No.
See, I see the look on your face. That like from the first season when she has the flashbacks, that's what she sees in the mirror. That's why they go to the
Okay.
ice cream shop because it's that guy. But
Yeah,
there,
no, I would have to rewatch.
Yeah.
there's so many
This is
things
the type of show I have to watch with Zach because he remembers everything and I don't, and he just answers all my questions.
Do a
as I go
rewatch because
along.
it's been fantastic doing a rewatch. There's so much shit that I forgot, and it makes it easier to keep up in the present day.
Ashley, that's how my best friend Kevin was when I lived with him. It was really good because he would remember. He'd be like, "Yeah, that's the character we saw
It's
3
so
seasons ago in one
nice.
episode," and I'd be like, "Oh, thank you."
Like, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Wasn't like reference to that three-eyed bear that was seen in the vision, was it? Or did it look different from that bear? You remember the three-eyed bear in the
No,
vision?
this is a person wearing.
Oh, wearing the. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was like, "Is it just someone standing there?" But I think it was supposed to be like
Right.
a thing. And again, I can't remember, but I just remember thinking we haven't done this season, and it happening like one more time, and then it happened to FL where they do static. It's got a little bit of a filter, and then we do static again, and it goes back to regular, and it's like 2 seconds.
So apparently the static has been there since early season 2. They've been doing it.
Well, but like they only do it, so it's not like this season. I think they've done it twice,
It says they've been doing it throughout the season.
like every episode.
Yeah, somebody in the Reddit saying that.
But did they say? But does it say what it is?
It just says that it's just an editing technique. I mean, it could mean something later that we're supposed to figure out. But
Yeah.
Okay.
right now, it's just coming off as editing, I
Okay.
guess.
Yeah. We get a lot of like deity like imagery and shit like that as well through the show, don't we? To be fair, so unless it's leaning into that, I guess. But it does seem pretty pointed. I know what you're saying, Ian.
Yeah.
Like to show us
Yeah.
that specifically. Yeah.
Especially
So in
if
a
it's
show
not
like
something they're
this, you
doing
think
all the
everything's fucking pointed. So like, just stop doing this.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
This will drive us crazy.
So
Right. Yeah.
they eat Mari. Shauna The devil makes sure to ask to bring her Mari's hair.
Oh, I know. And then we have to see it.
God,
I hate it.
Yeah.
so
That cut
brutal.
as well, when they go from like eating the food to then like future Shauna like having the hot pocket. I'm like, that transition, like, what are we doing, man? Like,
So good.
Jesus, that was wild. It was
That
cool
makes
though.
me want a hot pocket.
A
And-
Maury hot pocket.
And so, what is it like the next day when Shauna goes to confront Nat, or maybe later
Yeah,
that
it's
day?
the next morning because the
Yeah.
sun's coming up.
And
Yeah.
It's so kooky. It's so silly. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, and then rips off. I just kept thinking, like, isn't Hannah dead now? Because I feel like Shauna would murder the person who fooled her, like,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
But also, who cares? At this point, Hannah's
Well,
kind
didn't
of.
it seem like at this point, this is when Shauna has lost her power because she kind of looks around at everybody and realizes that most of them are in on this. So, like, what is the
Yeah.
fucking point of all of this
Right.
then? Why did
Just
Mari have to
fucking kill
die?
her.
She's been my favorite since the first episode of the first season. I've loved Mari.
Like, just throw Shauna Shipman in that fucking pit, and like everyone is
Yep.
cool.
Listen, y'all don't want to hurt Shauna because she's part of your team. I get it. Tie her ass up and leave her in
Right.
the Coach Ben pen. Like, just put her somewhere.
Yeah, but
Sacrifice her.
not that I ever encourage murder, but I would think Shauna, you gotta murder her. I don't think you tie her up because then she kills everyone.
It's
at
true.
night.
Listen,
Right,
if there's any way you're
She'll
going to encourage
get,
it, encourage it.
she'll
here.
get free and
Yeah.
she will come after you all. You have to kill her.
And
Yeah,
she would
put that
slaughter at
bitch
least
down.
half of them before they realized what she was doing. Like you have
Yeah.
to kill her. So we get her yelling, "Where's Natalie?" And I do think, Zach, you're correct. I do think this was showing Shauna's like power dwindling down, which
Yep.
thank
Yeah.
fucking God. And Aerosmith's "Living on the Edge" plays. I'm pretty sure this was
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Adam, I feel like you might know. This is the music video. I meant to look it up. Isn't it the one with Alicia Silverstone where she jumps off the
Yes.
bridge, but then it's a bungee cord and she's giving the finger,
Yeah.
and it was like she was cool 90s girl. Yeah,
It's that vibe, yeah.
that's what I kept thinking of. The like panning shots were so good, but also it was like, holy shit, she walked so far. Like,
Okay, there is the show, like, and I think it's supposed to very much reminds me of that true life story of the Andy's plane crash. And there's like
Yeah.
a whole movie made about it with Ethan Hawke called Alive. And in that,
Great movie.
at the very end, and if you haven't seen it by now, sorry, I'm gonna spoil it. But it's like Ethan Hawke and a couple other ones, they decide to like just climb the mountains and keep going as far as they can until they reach somewhere. Chile, I think, is where they're trying to reach, and they don't know if they're going to reach it, but that's just what they do. And this is what this reminds me of, is that she just set out to the highest point on a mountain. I wish we could have gotten like a full episode of that. I know that would have been like, it'd have been too much, I think, but it'd have been nice to see her like have to spend a night in the cold and like, is Natalie gonna die? No, but she can't die because we see her in the present day. But it just like, I don't know, like really show that struggle of her getting to the top of that fucking mountain. But even without all that, like this little moment paid off so fucking well because we've been waiting on this rescue. We've been waiting to get here. Not only did we get Pit Girl, that full circle, they're gonna get rescued.
man, I wept both fucking times I watched this scene. Like,
Yeah.
straight up wept. I could cry right now just thinking about it. Like, Natalie's been through so much. Like, fuck. And like, of all the characters,
cigarette. That's it.
of all the characters, it like, again, she deserves to be the final girl, but like, she deserves to be the one that like
Yes.
does this. Like, right? She just
Yeah.
does.
I burst into tears watching it whenever I realized, like, because I was not, especially when I'm not doing it for a podcast, I just kind of like let shit wash over me. I'm not like tying stuff together. So like when Shauna was like, "Where the fuck is Natalie?" I was like, "Where is Natalie?"
I said, which hood? Which hood?
And then it showed her like on the top of the mountain with the box, and I was like, "It's gonna be Natalie!" And I just like burst into tears and was like, "If anyone got to make the call, I'm so fucking glad it was Natalie."
Yeah.
And like, I know I started the episode saying this, but like, it hurts my heart so much. She's the one that gets them fucking saved, and she's dead. Like, it's so unfair, but it also, like, again, for the metaphors of like, it is, that shit's unfair, right? Like, that's how life goes, and shit is unfair. And like, I've said this we've said this, Zach, so many times on this podcast, how like, when we talk about Sydney or Laurie Strode, where it's like we are what happens after. Like we are like that is an interesting thing to see, like what they do after that, and like yeah, you do eventually die, I guess. I mean, Natalie's death fucking
But
sucked,
there's
but
like so much. I mean, I guess we're not going to really get. You know what though? We could get Juliette Lewis back. That's the thing with this is like I know they have a 5-season plan and all of that. There are 25 years in between these two timelines. There's so much to play with. We don't know how many people these bitches have killed. We don't know how many people like fucking. I think this little bitch Travis killed somebody probably somewhere. You know, somewhere along the way. Like there's just so much that they can play around with because they have kept it so vague in the present that we don't know what the 25 years have been. And I would love to see that explored. Like bring Sophie Thatcher back. Let her go for 10 years. Bring Juliette Lewis back to first. She's not gonna come back, but you know, I don't know. Even if they wanted to do like a younger Juliette Lewis, like a middle version. I was thinking, lady from the Evil Dead Rise, like the main girl. Looks so much like Sophie Thatcher and Juliette Lewis. She could be. She's like 30 years old. She could be that smack dab in the middle version. Like there's so much to play with there.
I know that once again, Ian's referencing Lost. Someone take a shot. The nerd hill I will always die on is the Lost finale is fucking fantastic. And you watched it wrong. That's not even my opinion. You just did watch it wrong if you think they were dead the whole time.
It was purgatory.
I really don't know how people watch that show and that's what they got out of the finale. But I know that I'm even saying this is stupid, but like reuse that for this. Like I kind of would want that. Like I would love the show to end with all of them on that fucking plane, and it's like Misty sitting next to young Misty, Nat sitting next to young Nat, and like this like beautiful like, hey, this was like we all cared about each other. This was like our community, and like I don't know, that would be like for me.
Why not? It's like a pretty shot to end the whole thing
and
out.
That would be such a good connecting of the two timelines. It's like you know, because I do feel like regardless, I do feel like all of the Yellowjackets are gonna die. Like I do think that's what I don't think anyone's making it out of this series. Maybe Misty, but I
think Misty
still
could really.
Because Misty also is the reason they got stuck. So like it feels like everyone's kind of whatever.
I just think plans have changed though since then though.
Yes.
Like so many plans have changed that I think maybe Natalie would have been the one to survive at the very end. But I think because she's not there anymore, it would like shift to Misty.
I can just see Misty too. Like everybody's dead, and she's like started a new life somewhere, just like being
convertible
getting in a new exactly.
Going on to her spinoff about the citizen detectives.
She has Walter in a trunk.
Yeah,
and like I don't know. I think the show is like a really good metaphor for like current times and like. The fact that the one that's trying the most we know is doomed is like really good but upsetting storytelling. I don't know. It's like if you watched Halloween knowing Laurie Strode dies a couple years after she beats Michael Myers, or Sidney Prescott and Gale both like die from like a stupid needle injection after living through all the like Ghostface attacks, and like that sucks and that's bleak and like it makes me so emotional, and I love Misty and Nat. Them and Van were the only ones I was like fully rooting for. Now I'm rooting for Ty to kill Shauna because I think Ty's the most capable.
They're going to kill each other. I think it's going to be a battle royale between them, and I do think Misty's going to be the last one standing because I think we're setting up for that idea of a last one standing. I think there will always be Yellowjackets drama and people coming after them. If there are too many of them out there doing their own thing, there can only be one. The only way to ensure that a secret is kept secret is if there's one person left.
Yeah.
and like it makes sense that it would be Misty, the one who's like wanted nothing more than to like be family with these people, to finally be like, I actually don't need any of you, and I'm gonna go.
I don't need you. Me and
live the
Caligula
rest of my
good.
life without.
Me and Caligula gotta go to Cabo.
Yeah.
Fair. I think the ending, it had to be Nat as well. Like, you know, taking that up to the top of the mountain, because like there is a version of this where it could have been Misty and that could have been her redemption for destroying it in the first place. You know, like I could have been easily her. But I think like the fact that we know that Nat's going to die, so you make the most of the character knowing that there's a countdown timer on them, right? So the fact that it was her doing it adds so much of a character moment for Nat. And like, I loved that they didn't just hang up on like, you know, she hears like static and she doesn't get a response, but she actually got someone speaking back to her. And I was like, yes, that was great. I love that we didn't just get like a little bit of mystery of did. So I love that we got the confirmation it's happening. Yeah, she did. She made contact. And I love that.
That like, yeah, I you can see my nose getting a little red, so I'm gonna cry again. But like, I just like, she is just so good, that actor. She's just,
I love her. Yeah,
fucking fantastic. She was good in Companion too. Like, she's a really good actor. So yeah, emotions. I have
amazing way to end the season 2, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Instead of just like edging us a little bit further, and they're like, well, maybe next season they'll get rescued, which they're kind of doing still. We just still don't know like how many episodes we're gonna get until then. But we've made contact now. We have made contact now. And
I'm excited.
I hope it's Natalie out in the wilderness, kind of struggling for a little bit because she can't go back.
She's far away.
Yeah, and I hope
unless
see her struggling
they do beat up Shauna and tie her up or something. Like,
they really should do. They just should do that. Yeah.
They should kill her, but they can't kill her. I feel like Zach, do you remember, what is it? Is it the end of the first episode of Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin, when she's like, "We have to kill Karen"? That's been me this whole season.
I mean, it is. Shauna Shipman must die. So that's what we're leading. I do think that's where we're leading. Our big bad Bill and Melanie Linsky. Has she not won anything for this?
I don't think so.
She deserves
fucking better.
So
fucking better one day.
And I know she will nail the turn, the like heel turn of like active villain rather than like. I think she'll be so good at it, because I remember last season when she had that Walter White moment where she just brought the gun to the mechanic and was like, "No, you're gonna do this." It was like,
I hope she is spinning circles in that minivan, running bitches down, like pulling. Do you remember when I was watching it with my husband to get him caught up, and fucking completely forgot about the guy who tried to rob her in the minivan, and her and Jeff were like, you know, held up, and she rushes him and like grabs the gun from him, and Jeff's like, "You can't rush a robber."
Bitch, I already did.
Give me that Shauna like times 10. I need to see her as hell on wheels in that minivan.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
Yeah, I do think my dad, literally, I think after that episode aired, or like I watched it, my dad had 2.5 Men on, and she's in that.
Wow, really? She's the same character.
And she just plays like,
she is crazy.
She is crazy.
She like climbs up on the balcony and comes in that way because she's like obsessed.
She's like obsessed with Charlie Sheen, but she plays like this, like she just wants to have sex with him, and it's like
quirky.
It's just like the role that people keep casting her in, because her very first role too was her killing her mother with Rachel or with Kate Winslet. They were like killing her characters.
And in the last of Us, she was a baddie in that as well.
Right? Yeah.
So
it's true.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Melanie, look good.
I guess we're at the end. Zach, do you have any?
I don't. It was a stellar season. Really despite what this finale maybe made me feel, I think I was still satisfied with the way the season ended. I think I was just more upset about the way Van's storyline sort of ended, and Ty's storyline getting cut off. And I could have dealt with Lottie's death, but it had to be Van or Lottie. I didn't like both of them going in this season.
That's fair.
But I'm like so fucking ready for this battle royale we're setting up. So
yeah.
Ashley, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Wait, I interrupted you. Were about to
I was going to ask a question.
I have a question for you, because like, I'm a dude. So I am curious what you think. I've seen a lot of people say that they think Van's death is like bury your gaze, or like fridging the girlfriend, but I don't think it is. I'm curious what you think.
I don't think so in this context, just because everybody's dying all the time.
And basically everyone's gay.
And it's not like, and it's not like she was the first kill.
Yeah.
They didn't kill her off first.
So
I mean, they just kind of got back together, I guess, but like, I didn't see it that way, at least.
Okay.
I don't either.
Because I didn't either, but I was like, I need to ask actual queer woman rather than being the gay guy that's like, it's not.
I do think that the internet, anytime that a gay character dies, is like, And I'm
Yeah.
like,
You know
well,
what?
Yeah.
there's some nuance
Fair, because
around
it's
it,
happened
you know?
a lot. It's
Yeah.
happened a
Yeah.
lot. So
Yes.
give
Yeah.
people an extra second to sort of like unpack it.
Yeah,
Step back
process
from
it.
it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. What's one thing you want to see next season? If you could pick just one thing, Adam.
Ooh, Christ. Coming to me first.
Christ is the one.
Yeah, Christ. I would say Christ on that island.
Lottie rises.
Jesus comes down to
Yeah.
smite them because they're worshiping the devil.
She is risen. No, honestly, oh, kicking my camera. That's how excited I'm getting with that question. Yeah, I think I mean, obviously I need to see them on that plane. I know we've got 2 seasons left, but I need to see them get on that fucking plane. You know, I need to see it. And building a little bit on what you said, Ian, that final shot, if, we did get the older versions and the younger versions together, we've kind of sowed the seeds of that already by seeing scenes of them interacting with their younger versions, so
Yeah.
that would make complete sense. But I just need that ending to pay off, because that ending for me was that is what the season's all about. That's what we've been building towards, making contact, working towards getting off that island. So I need to see a big moment of them getting off the island, and whether that leads into I don't know how that might play into season 5, or whatever that looks like, but that's what I'm most excited for.
All right. Ashley.
I think for me, just what I've been looking forward to the most since the series started is their reintegration into society and
That's cool.
how I want to see some therapy sessions. These little teenagers coming back from their long stay in the woods and being forced to go to therapy, and then see how they handle that, because they're not gonna talk about it. So I'm just very interested to see how they handle coming back.
All right. Okay.
And I would love to see some mid-20s versions of themselves and see kind of what they were up to once they
I just think that
got
would
a
be
hold of their
so
freedom.
Interesting. I think that
I like
their
that.
reintegration into society is going to be some of the most interesting. I don't know where. Most interesting stuff that is going to come out of this show, because we know the press started those rumors. I mean, they're not even rumors, but started those rumors about all the cannibalism that went on there, and did it or didn't happen, and fucking all of the roundabouts that we've seen. Shauna, I know that was kind of a vision, but Shauna working in a grocery store, unhappy with her life. Shauna in her fucking wedding. We've seen that wedding picture so many times that I want to see that moment now. I want to see Shauna's wedding day with Jeff. How is she going to end up with Jeff when she gets back? How does she confront these people who she murdered their children and had a huge hand in all of that? All of these people and how they're going to reintegrate, I think is just going to be so fascinating. And well, I'm looking forward to next season. I have a TikTok that I'm gonna read off of. It says, next season of Yellowjackets, I'm rooting for the police. All of these lesbians need to go to jail.
So we got Jesus teaming up with the police, and then they pick down the Yellowjackets.
Now we are a
Give me that
conservative
season.
podcast.
Isn't that Daredevil, Ian, basically?
Yeah, that's like Daredevil. I think for me, because I know past Shauna can't die, I want to see her get her ass, every square inch of her ass checked,
Up and down the snow.
It's coming. It's coming.
and it'll be so gratifying. Oh God, I can't believe we went this long and I forgot to ask this question. Shauna, I'm sorry, real quick, I promise. Shauna says in her note, we didn't remember a lot of what happened.
Ty was
and
also
Misty-
talking about that. Yes. So memories coming back, which again, I like that we're keeping that vague, because we really can fill it in with anything that we want. We haven't set up too much that we have to follow a strict structure now. I'm telling you, during these 25 years, shit has gone down.
Yeah, I mean, the way they reconvened to, what was his name? Adam? Was Adam the guy that she killed? The way they just were like, great, let's do it. It was like, this isn't their first time.
Yeah.
This isn't Shauna's first affair.
Yeah. But all right, that was the only, I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, are they remembering now? Or is it just slowly coming to them, I guess?
The more they kill, the more they're like, oh yeah, remember when we used to do this?
Yeah.
Takes me back.
Yeah. She's like, oh, Ty's eating Van's insides. That reminds me so much of our time in the woods. All right, Ashley, let everyone know where they can find you and your podcast.
You can find me on Instagram at 'cause I'm feeling fine, or on Blue Sky at mythtaken314. And I do a very similar, super similar show that I cover on my podcast called Heartstopper.
I mean, Nick ate Charlie last season, right?
Yeah.
What do you think
I mean,
about the
yeah, he did.
last season being a movie instead?
I'm happy that we're getting it. I did have initially, I was like upset that it's not going to be a full season, but also it's just going to be the final volume that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're getting a wrap up at all. It's been almost 7 months since season 3 aired. So I was starting to lose hope. And I woke up to that on the anniversary of season 1, which is beautiful, and just like burst into tears and cried for like
What
all
was
day.
it? It was like a poster that was like a film in it.
Yeah, it's like, who fancies a film? Yeah.
Who fancies a film?
Yeah.
I still got
All right, got that on a film.
So my podcast is called Why Are We Like This, the Heartstopper podcast, and you can find us online at Why Are We Cast, and you can listen anywhere you get your podcasts.
And Adam, where can everyone find you and your podcast?
Yeah, so if you type in Strawn87 on any social media, you'll find my face. If you want to listen to the podcast, it is Last Week On. You will hear all of us on there because Ian and Zach have covered stuff with me, like Invincible. Ashley and I did an episode all about adolescence on Netflix, which that TV show is phenomenal. But yes, that is Last Week On. If you type that in on any podcast platform, you'll find it on there and on all socials as well. Last Week On Pod.
Adam covered season 3 with me, so if you want to hear more Adam and are interested in a different teen show.
Both Adam and Ashley recommended Adolescence to me, and I turned it on and was like, I'm too depressed for this show. Those first 10 minutes, I was like, everyone's crying and screaming and upset, and I know the child's a murderer, so like, oof. And they took the kid away, and I was like, I can turn this off.
I haven't made it to that one yet.
Need to watch this later.
It's very good, but yeah,
turn
it's
it back
super
on.
heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah. I'll get back to it. And if you like My Bloody Judy, Zach, tell everyone where they can find us. My
Bloody Judy. You're watching it here. You can probably find it if you search it anywhere else as well. Also, leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and let us know how you want Shauna to die. How do you want her to get her comebacks?
I'll give you my top 10 ways.
Ian's like, let me open my notes app.
Yeah. Let me just go through all these pages of what
I'm like a 58-point list of all the ways I want Shauna to get it.
It's like I've thought a little bit about this.
And we are at My Bloody Judy on all social media platforms.
Yes.
We'll see y'all. Is this the end of our season, Zach?
I
can't remember.
So this will go out tomorrow. So then I guess the next day will probably be the I Know What You Did Last Summer, or whenever that I Know What You Did Last Summer trailer. And
I
then
might put that out tonight.
I would like to do Sinners when that comes out on like digital. Because I think that would be a good one to cover.
All right, so this isn't the end of
I was going to say stuff is coming, right? But like,
all right.
We'll see.
All right. So we will see you all next time. Bye.